Hello, my friends. This is Dr. Barbara here. It's been a long time since I've made a video. I've been up to some good. Been promoting a book that I was blessed to be a part of, The Great Pause, Blessings and Wisdom from COVID-19. Many of my friends have rallied around and purchased this book that I describe as a mega dose of hope and love for these times. That's been a wonderful, wonderful experience. I want to give a shout out to Elizabeth Hill and Greenheart Living Press for that experience. And I also completed the manuscript of my mother's book, Heeding the Caregiver Call, the story of my mother and Alzheimer's dementia. That is now in the hands of the publishers, going through their copy editing process and through their system. That'll be a book in my hand in hopefully the next couple of months. And it is a book that I will proudly entomb at my mother's grave. I promised her I would get it done, and I got it done. Of course, I couldn't have done it without the love and support of my wife, of Kay, and who's just been by my side every step of the way. She was also an active caregiver of my mother. So it really is our story as well. So that's some good stuff. I've also been up to my usual activism. I mean, my health, I've had slips into some of my depression, my anxieties. I actually have a dislocated clavicle at the moment, which is quite painful. I'm receiving treatment for, and I am also in between my usual cancer interventions. The next one's November 24th. We're continuing to get good news on the atypical cells that are in my kidney. That wisteria treatment is still holding for me. And I do populate all those tumors still in my bladder, and I have received chemotherapy into the bladder and the kidney directly, not through my veins. It's a local intravesical chemo. And, but my cancer just keeps coming back. That's what it does. We just pray God that it remains non-muscle invading and that it stays low grade. And so far, I've received that blessing and the miracle of the wisteria treatment. I'm able to walk a little bit better. I'm able to ride my recumbent tricycle, which really helps my very fragile spine. And I'm working a couple of fellowships around my compulsive eating and also around my trichotillomania, which I've disclosed to a lot of people about lately. So at any rate, I'm working on my healing and I'm working on my health. And because of that, I am also able to have the clarity of mind, a sort of sense of renewed mission and purpose in challenging social, racial, environmental injustices in this country. And I'm doing it locally where I live. I'm doing it, as you know, this is the election of our lifetimes. When Joe Biden said very early on, his first statements about why he was running, and he said it was to save the soul of this nation. We all see that for what it is right now. We are indeed in that struggle. There are ghosts in America that have come out of the dirt, out of the ground, and that are plaguing our nation above ground right now. And that is this pernicious white supremacy and the legitimization of domestic white terrorism and the legitimization of the vilification of equality and justice in this country. And, we can't stand for that. People who are aware and awoke and have a conscience and who are intelligent, who get that wanting equality, which black folks have never had in this country, to want equality is not a threat to white people's current state of being. We're not looking to take away anything from any other American citizen. We're simply wanting the same rights and the same dignity and the same enfranchisement and the same opportunities, and to eliminate all the barriers that create the disparities we see in every system that governs our lives in this country. Why that is a threat to white men in particular, I just don't get it. Yeah, I had an email just today telling me to fuck off, right? I don't know how this person got my phone number, my email, except for it is on my TV show, it is on my website. So yeah, that's fine. You can send an email, cowards that you are, with no phone number or no name, and tell me to fuck off because I agree with equality. I mean, that's the mindset we are dealing with. Those are words I rarely use, and I only said it because that was what was said to me. I work hard on trying to put love and hope into the world. I have made my peace with people who disagree with me ideologically. If you're a rabid, Republican, evangelical, who wants to strip away my gay rights, who wants to strip away the rights to control my uterus and my body, who wants to decimate our infrastructure, our social safety net in this country, if you want to keep seeing the money that we sweat equity, the money that goes into the state treasury and the federal treasuries, if you want that money to just line the pockets of the rich so they can buy yachts and they can live in their mansions and they can make their millions and millions, if that's what you believe in, I made my peace with you. I made my peace with you. We have to change the system. A system that permits the flow of tax dollars like that into more militarism and into the pockets of corporations. Me, and people that are my friends that I associate with, we believe in equality and justice, economic justice, racial justice, social justice. That's what we believe in. And I think there are more of us than there are those others. I believe people want clean air, clean water, want to protect our environment. I believe people want affordable health care, access to health care. I believe they want pre-existing conditions to be maintained. Hey, if you got diagnosed with COVID, you have a pre-existing condition. But you know what? If you ever had a child and you had a complication with a pregnancy, you also have a pre-existing condition. I know I have it. I have cancer and I have other things too going on. But really, this new Supreme Court justice, they're ramming through the process right now. Shame on her. Even many of her colleagues at Notre Dame University School of Law have asked her to just pull out for right now. The American people deserve to make a decision on who the next president will be, and then that president should be appointing the next Supreme Court justice. Just like in 2016, McConnell, Graham, and that ilk came up with that rule when Obama, I'm sorry, I don't want to disrespect President Barack Obama. When President Barack Obama was exercising his constitutional authority to put a justice on the court when Judge Scalia died. Oh, actually, it wasn't Judge Scalia. I'm so sorry. But anyway, it was 200 and something days out from the election, and they said that the American people should decide. Well, we're 22 days out from the election. We're 20 days out from the election. Hypocrisy at its finest. Because that's all this new Republican Party knows. Hypocrisy, corruption, fomenting discord and divisiveness, and feeding and lining their own pockets with wealth. They're the only ones making money right now during COVID. Are you? We got a little $6 check. They can't get another bill put through. Why? Because their president, their head of the party has prevented it. They're following his instructions. So, look, the choice is clear. Like Joe Biden said, this is a fight for the soul of our nation. It is a fight for democracy. That's why all the Republicans even are bailing on this Republican candidate. They're bailing on him. They're coming to Biden-Harris. Maybe it'll be the only times in their lives they've ever had to pull a lever for a Democrat. But this is the time for us to convene the coalition that is grounded in saving our nation's democracy. And I'm doing my share. Kay's doing her share. We are encouraging people to get out to vote. I am so heartened by, people standing in lines for hours and hours and hours in Texas and Georgia and other places. It shouldn't be that way during a pandemic. The government should have passed bills. Trump should have signed bills or executive orders, which is what he knows how to do only, that would have given people a safe, reasonable way to vote during this global pandemic that we're in the midst of. But instead, they're attacking mail-in voting. They're making voting harder for people because they know if all the people have access to voting, that they're going to lose. They just want to win at any cost. And win, what does that mean for us? More chaos. More of this daily insults to our decency and civility. Because that's all this administration knows. And they're just protecting themselves, lining their pockets, making money hand over fist. Even Donald Trump's very public proclamation of his so-called cure from coronavirus and mentioning this drug that he received, which he also owns stock in, and who are his buddies, his CEO buddies, even though clinical trials right now in this country are even being halted right now using those same drugs because there are some untoward medical experiences happening. There have been some side effects that have been deadly and concerning, which is why we don't shortcut the science of clinical trials on the path to creating good vaccines and therapeutics in this country. My God, thank God there's still some firewalls in place. And we are grateful for that there have been some firewalls in place to still check this administration's recklessness and fecklessness and grift and corruption. And ultimately, though, we have the last word, folks. This is it. 20 days away. This is it. You have to vote. Your mama has to vote. Your papa has to vote. Your siblings have to vote. Your aunts and uncles have to vote. Your cousins have to vote. Your friends have to vote. We have to all get out to the polls. So we have to do this, folks. No one's going to do it for us. At the end of the day, if we have a landslide, which is what we need, the big blue wave, the big blue tsunami to get him out of office, we can do it. We can do it. So let's do it. Let's do it. That's what I'm focused on right now. And I know we are on the right side of this. I know there's a higher power out there who wants to see this justice, this return to some civility, this tamping down of the hate and the violence, and restoring some of the guardrails to this country. We can do it. We can do it. So that's all I wanted to share. I miss folks when I don't put my messages out. I will update my website.